everyone and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today we are back at Buscaron's Druthers, where it is finally time to find the Sylph Elder. Buscaron, you said last time that the Sylph Elder has been located. What do you know? Where are they? Buscaron has reliable information regarding the whereabouts of the Sylph Elder. It's taken us a fair old while, but we finally got our hands on some reliable information concerning the whereabouts of your missing green friend. Ahem, his name is Phrixio, and he's the eldest among the Sylphs of Little Solace, long as he represented his kind in dialogue with the Gridanians. Yes, he's like a bridge between us and them, a small, leafy green bridge that we can't find at the moment, and bridges are no use if you don't know where they are. That's why it's so important that we find him. There's an abandoned dungeon called the Thousand Maws of Totorak here in the South Shroud. 'Twas by the entrance of the place that Phrixio was seen, and not long ago neither. If you hurry, I reckon you'll find him. Walking Ones, please help this one. This one needs help. Needs help to help Elder One. Poor Phrixio, poor Phrixio! Whoa, hold your chocobos. Take a deep breath and tell us what's wrong, nice and slow. Elder One went into Totorak, but has not returned. This one is worried, so very worried. And you're right to be. The place fair crawls with nasties waiting to make a meal of anyone daft enough to wander in. What in the seven hells was he thinking entering that bloody death trap? Elder One had no choice. Imperial Ones were chasing Elder One. Please, Walking Ones must help Elder One. Help Elder One now! The fates conspire against us. Forgive my pragmatism, but Phrixio is our best hope of reaching an accord with the Sylphs. Were we to lose him, all our efforts thus far will have been for naught. I will tend to her wounds. Ida, you make haste to the Adder's Nest and request assistance. Understood. Satora, go to the Thousand Maws of Totorak and see that Phrixio comes to no harm. Peace between man and Sylph rests upon your success. Alright. It's time for a rescue mission. Let's do this. So, we need to head into the Thousand Maws of Totorak. This is going to be an interesting dungeon because this one got significant changes after Endwalker came out. This is a dungeon that people were mixed to negative on, we'll say, for a long time. And then they finally went and updated it extensively, along with many other dungeons, so I'll definitely be talking about the ways that this dungeon has been changed once we're inside. We're going to be going in as a Thaumaturge today. I don't play Thaumaturge nearly enough, so hopefully this will help me to memorize how to play Thaumaturge a lot better. Trying to give every single class about equal footing, about equal screen time and practice. Alright, before we talk to you... Yeah, you know what? After we talk to you, we'll do that. By order of this Elder Seedseer, the dungeon known as the Thousand Maws of Totorak has been placed under the control of... What? The Sylph Elder is inside! And you are sure of this? How in the seven hells did he manage to sneak by? God strike me down for a purblind fool. You must find the Sylph Elder before he falls prey to the fiends within. Entrance to Totorak is ordinarily restricted, but these are exceptional circumstances. Pray assemble a rescue party and enter as soon as you are ready. Alright, our fourth dungeon is available. Okay, before we head in, we're going to go ahead and eat some food. Let's do the lowest item level that gives us good magic stat buffs. That's skill speed, so no. Grape juice is looking pretty good. Spell speed up, vitality up, piety up. I forget if piety is for healers or attackers. Oh well. The point is, actually, let's eat a second round so we have a full hour of grape juice. And let's do this. Into the Thousand Maws of Totorak. I have not done this dungeon since before the rework, so this will definitely be very odd to me. Alright, let's head in and see what we've got. First off, we've got a water stain node over here. First Spear Rydell, Totorak Expedition Notes 1. Dangerous fauna encountered upon entering cave. Calling as per mission parameters, expect to encounter more as we press deeper. Alright, makes sense. They had some expeditions down into these deep dark caves. Marauder, you're just getting right to work. Okay then. Let's go ahead and deal with these Muntui saplings and prison Teroks. Hit every single one of you with our thunder. I am sad that we don't really have... I guess we do. We do have area of effect attacks already. Really? I didn't think we got them this early as... Thaumaturge. But again, like I've been saying, I don't play Thaumaturge nearly often enough, so... Okay, I need to get a copy of Transpose onto my back hotbars. And down to just the Prison Terok. God, another thing I've got to consider when I'm playing as Thaumaturge is the MP cost of doing the area of effect attacks, because those take a lot more MP. Okay, real quick, let's go ahead and place a second copy of Transpose back here. We'll do this side. That should be good. That way I can switch elements while I'm doing area of effect. So, I believe the way the area of effect attacks work with Thaumaturge is fire will go after whoever you are targeting and the enemies surrounding them, whereas Blizzard will go after everyone surrounding you. Wait, hang on. No, that's centered on the Selmite. Am I mistaken on that? I remember Thaumaturge having its Blizzard area of effect centered around you. Did that get changed? There's no way they changed that. That would have been a major change. I would have heard about it. I must just be misremembering, because, yeah. Okay, down to just one. And let's continue onwards. So, this dungeon used to be far more expansive. It's still the same map, but there are several rooms that used to be available that aren't anymore. One of them being directly up here. Used to be able to go in there. In fact, used to be almost recommended to go in there depending on what party you're with. But they've closed it off. They've closed off most of the alternate rooms in this dungeon. Mostly to make it easier to program the NPCs, I suppose, is their reasoning. But also just because no one really liked how sprawling and maze-like this dungeon could get. So they made the entire thing a lot more linear. In addition to closing off a whole bunch of side rooms that made the dungeon a lot more maze-like, they also removed two major mechanics in this dungeon. The first one are little Magitech photocells, I believe they were called? Yeah, that's right. Magitech photocells. Just little glowing dots that float in the air. There was like one in this room, one in the room up to the north that's closed off now. I think there was another one on this hallway. There were quite a few of them all over the place, and you needed to collect 8 of them to get through the dungeon in its entirety. They're gone now. You don't need to collect them anymore. Which, people weren't really a fan of it. People were not fans of the photocell collection. Most of the Magitech photocells were on the main path, but you had to go off the main path for at least one of them in order to get everything you needed, so... You can imagine people weren't too pleased about that, especially after they've been playing this game for years and they've done this dungeon in Duty Roulette hundreds of times. People weren't a fan of doing the same thing over and over again, and they just wanted to be able to go right through the dungeon. So we got Linearize, which I'm gonna be honest, I kind of miss the old format, but I completely understand why other people didn't like it so much and why it got changed. But if it were up to me, I would have said, screw everyone who's complaining, just get over it. It's not that big of a deal. You go out of the way for one Magitek photocell. It's really not an issue. But the overall community consensus was against this dungeon, so I know I'm in the minority here. Alright, first boss, Quarrel of Nine Tails. So the way that the photocells were actually used is you would collect 4 of them, and in this room would be the first time that we'd actually need to make use of them. There would be a machine right here in the center of the room. You would put the photocells into the machine, and it would open up the way ahead, but it would also cause the Quarrel of Nine Tails to spawn. So we'd have to fight the boss. Now the way's just open and after we've fought the Quarrel of Nine Tails. It was also very strongly implied / basically stated that the Magitek photocells were left behind by Garlean Tech because the Garleans are also in this dungeon looking for the Sylph Elder, but it seems like a lot of that got removed as part of the linearization and the streamlining of the dungeon, which is sad. I do feel like a lot of character was lost by making the dungeons in A Realm Reborn a bit more simplified. Alright, in our treasure coffer we get a Warden's Barbet, which is going to be for tanks most likely. Let's see. Oh, did that go directly into the armory chest? I think it did. Warden's Barbet is... Where are you? There it is. Yeah, that's for tanks. How does it compare to everything else? Ooh, it's better than what I have, it looks like. That was a weird hiccup. Alright, well then, we're gonna have to put that on our tanks in a little bit. Let's move on. Waterstain Note. First Spear Rydell. Totorock Expedition Notes 2. Engaged with sizable fiend, succeeded in exterminating, but casualties mounting. Must consider turning back if situation worsens. So the expedition didn't go too well. Oh yeah, more Magitek photocells were found in several of these side rooms that we've been passing. And they also started dropping from, I believe, the Warden's Whip, specifically from some of the enemies around here. You would need to kill specific enemies, the plant-like enemies, and some of them would drop Magitek photocells, which you would need. I believe you wanted to have 5 total by this point? Between the 4 that you would have just spent in the other room and 1 you pick up here. Or maybe 2 you pick up here. Again, it's been a while since I've done this dungeon, and even longer since it's been reworked. No, wait, flip that. It's been a while since it's been reworked, and even longer since I've done the dungeon. That's how you English. Oh, wait, no, I want to use Blizzard. Okay, switch to single target. Let's grab some loot for a dungeon seedling. Okay, interested what that's for. Gardening, obviously, but... Huh. Interesting. Oh, good. We've got prison pudding. You don't look tasty. I do not want to eat you. Please, no. You, in fact, look quite unappetizing, so please stop referring to yourself as pudding, I suppose? Okay, let's hit you both with the thunder. Okay, we should be able to switch elements, and back to flame. Back to single target, even. Our party of 4 is doing really well. I appreciate the lot of them. Also, I think this is the first time we've gone into a dungeon as magic DPS. Got a Nighthawk visor. I will check you out in a minute. And we have a limit break ready. Ooh, since I am magic DPS, I could make use of this. Yeah, you know what? In dungeons, general rule, it is more effective to use your limit breaks on the regular enemies, especially when you are in a crowd and playing not melee DPS or tank or healer. If you're playing ranged or magic DPS, go for it. As long as your party agrees. Again, if you're playing multiplayer, this is a multiplayer game. You don't just steal the party's limit break. Okay, we got one more Moontui sapling that's just kind of hiding away from everything. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go for you. Looks like everything else is dead, so we're golden. Web opens up. I will say these rooms are looking not fully familiar, but this dungeon has definitely changed a bit. Like, I recognize this room. I think a lot of what's throwing me off about things being familiar or unfamiliar is just a bunch of side paths that I'm used to being there are gone now. And I mean a bunch of side paths. There were a lot. It really was kind of maze-like. Thankfully, once you had the entire area mapped, you could see it's actually not that hard to navigate it. Generally, the dungeon was in 3/3, and the first 2/3 had 2 different but equivalent paths each that eventually united just before the boss. Or at the boss sometimes. But when you're new, it could definitely get a lot more confusing. Alright, I see a treasure coffer. Another thing they seem to have removed a lot of is there was a lot more webbing in this area. There's a lot more in the form of webs where you walk through and the first person to walk through gets trapped on the other side. Anyone else who happened to be close enough to them also gets trapped with them. And then the web closes up so anyone who wasn't completely caught up with the party gets trapped behind the web earlier in the dungeon. Not trapped. Obviously you were able to destroy the web and it was highly recommended you do so your party isn't left behind. And everyone could contribute to destroying the web from both sides, so it's not like you could trap your party and ditch them. But I'm definitely noticing there's a lot less of that web trap. Like there used to be one right as you're starting to enter this room. Like, sure, the dungeon's a lot more sensible now, I guess? And since it is an early game dungeon, it is fair to not really want to force that kind of mechanics. Like, not that those mechanics are particularly hard, but like the sheer number of mechanics, it makes sense that they wouldn't want to force that onto new players early in the game. It's better to slowly build up mechanics to make dungeons harder and harder. But it does still feel like it lost a lot of character. Anyways, if I remember correctly, this is the second point where you would need 4 Magitech photocells. Typically, when on the route I took was by this point, I only had 3. My party would only have 3, and we'd go through a path right there, which very quickly leads to an enemy that easily drops our last Magitech photocell. So we'd sprint over there, it's like a less than a minute detour, grab the photocell, sprint back, and then we can fight the Quirrell Ninetails. Okay, we got several Warden's Whips around here. Or just one of them now. I appreciate the other one for dying. Oh god, yeah, nope, this is me not being good at Thaumaturge. Not paying attention to my dang MP. It's the one class where you actually need to pay attention to your MP because you will run out of it frequently. You can run out on other magic classes, but it's nowhere near as frequent. and generally a lot harder to do because your MP regeneration is a lot more generous on other magic classes. Whereas with Thaumaturge and Black Mage, it's a lot more deliberately forcing you to manage it with the Fire and Ice phase. We're getting quite a few bits of gear in here. I will wait until after the dungeon to equip them. Also, level 25, almost a level 26 already. Gosh dang. Alright, we are moving into the final third of this dungeon. Ooh, you know what? Maybe I should put an extra copy of Thunder on my AoE hotbar. Just because it's good to put on enemies, but we can only do single target Thunder, so that can definitely get annoying, but at least we'd have access to it. Alright, and we're clear. I am still checking the jail cells as I notice them because I remember some of them had loot. Also, uh-oh, that one gave me a location, so they might be required for completing the map. Oh no! Let's hope I don't have to rush back through the dungeon and find some that I missed. Hello, Tainted Louse. Oh, yeah, here's where the dungeon's really gonna get different. And this is a change I can objectively agree with. Like, there's this change in this section is objectively for the best. So, this entire last third of the map used to be covered in a sticky acid, we'll say, which you were basically required to walk through to make progress because it was everywhere. And when you walk through it, it significantly slowed you down to, like, walking this fast or slower. It was not great. There was a lot of it and you had to go through it. And it was meant to try and help the enemies to keep up with you and keep you on your toes. It was just annoying. It was just annoying. I'm very glad they got rid of that goo. No more leaden status for us. Okay, let's check that water stain note. First Spear Rydal, Totorak Expedition Notes 3, Dire Mite infestation confirmed. Scores of eggs on verge of hatching beyond our means to deal with. Aborting mission, subsequent parties beware. Dire Mite eggs. I assume that's what all the webs are about and what the eggs are. Oh, wow, actually. Oh, haha. Yeah, I normally play multiplayer, so I don't really have an opportunity to stop and look at all the goddamn eggs. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Please. Oh god. I screwed up and killed my status entirely, so I don't even have fast MP regen. There we go. Alright, one more prison pudding. Not seeing too much interesting going on in this room. And yeah, another thing. I don't think there's any more webs at all in the dungeon that do the trap. I mean, there's a web up ahead, but it's not in the format of the trap that we had before on the old version of the dungeon. Like, there used to just straight up be those trap webs everywhere. You walk through and suddenly there's a web behind you and the rest of your party is ditched. Those used to be everywhere in this last third of the dungeon. Also, this entire last third of the dungeon used to be a lot more winding too, if I remember. God, please let these enemies die and leave us alone! Okay, we've got this. So yeah, if I take a look at the map, yeah, this entire last section, so from here on to the east is all completely different. Like, not even the same map. It used to be a lot more winding. You'd go up and down and around corners, and there'd be turnbacks. It wasn't too bad to navigate, but I definitely could see new players getting tripped up. But it wasn't that bad, and I do miss the old format of the dungeon. Wait a minute, hang on. Why is the AI DPS also a thaumaturge? I thought it was set up so that you would always have one physical / range DPS and one magic DPS, was how they had structured the party for doing it solo. But we have 2 thaumaturges. I must have just been straight up wrong about that. That kind of makes me sad. I was hoping we'd have a physical DPS to go with us. Also, we do have our limit break. Oh, thank goodness we got everything on the map. Don't need to worry about a thing. Oh my god, they changed the arena too. There used to be a cliff right here. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Darkness.
Elko Hidra Bublo Hans.
The mighty slayer of Ifrit comes now to me.
Seize that on Rajyadorn.
With a countenance that bespeaks understanding.
Thagon Welrog. Torsan Opaiki.
An intriguing power, the Echo. I must needs choose my words with care.
Mayhap I might if I deign to speak in my guest crude tongue. We meet at last. I am Lahabrea of the Ascians, servant to the one true God. Yours is a most fantastical tale, truly absorbing. It is a tale to tell Eorzea's children before bedtime, and it will soon be dark, bringer of light.
The Dark Minions.
All that stands between this world and darkness is an irksome anomaly in the ether. The Echo. Yes, yours is a most fascinating tale. Alas, like all good tales, it must needs come to an end. But fear not.
Here, feel the presence of evil.
For the end of your tale is but the beginning of another. The tale of the crystal's demise.
Ah, La Habrea, I've been waiting to meet you officially. Alright, so yeah, in the original version of this dungeon, there was a cliff right here. You would get the cutscene if you were a new player just before the cliff, and parties had a bad habit of dropping off the cliff and starting the fight without you. If you were a new player, you tended to get screwed. You would miss the entire fight against Graphius, the giant Diorite. Also, this arena is so different. It's so much more green. It used to be a lot more purple. So yeah, I think Graphius is largely the same. Main differences surrounding the arena, the sludge is less poisonous than it was before, and also just less of it. Still disgusting though. So yeah, we've got just a giant Diorite empowered by La Habrea. And eventually it's going to start summoning its kin. Its children, probably? I'm assuming? Well, we can't have that. Let's destroy the Cone's Might while we continue to work on Graphius. Oh, that Cone's Might went down in a hurry. Oh crap, move! Get out of there! And I think when we hit level 2 Limit Break, I'll go ahead and make use of it. Oh god, it was targeting me for a moment. Hey, tank, you doing okay? Looks like it laid more eggs. Move! I guess I don't need to be right up against it. Alright, the skin has fallen off of its tail and now it is capable of laying down pools of poison. That's a problem. That is definitely a problem. Oh, the Scion Thaumaturge is so uncertain. It's cute. Move! Okay, let's just make sure we stay out of the poison, and we'll be good. One definite issue that you could run into if you're playing multiplayer is tanks don't really like standing in the poison. They will try and get out of the poison pool, and then Graphius will lay down more poison, and suddenly the entire arena is covered in poison, and that kind of sucks. I can't blame the tanks for not wanting to stand in the poison, but they, myself included, especially myself included, need to learn to trust their healers more, honestly. Your healers will do the job of keeping you alive, and if they don't, then it makes perfect sense to run out of the poison, but might as well keep all the poison in one place so it's not causing any massive issues. You need to get over... Okay, that works. Okay, you're down to 19%. Our limit break is almost full. I don't know if I'll get a chance to use it, so let's just go for the level 1 limit break then. Alright, we've learned Thunder 2. That is a wonderful new move for us to be picking up. What does Thunder 2 do for us? If I'm correct, this is... Yes. Deals lightning damage with a potency of 50 to target and all enemies nearby it. Lightning damage over time. Potency of 15, duration of 18 seconds. So that is 15 times 6 is 30 times 3 is 90 potency. 140 potency total per enemy. Okay, versus... I'll figure it out later. Alright then, let's go ahead and move Thunder 2 over to... Here seems good. Thank you so much, Scions. You've done a wonderful job getting us through this. Let's go ahead and grab our loot from the treasure coffer, and let's get out of here. Finally, fresh air. Mayhap not so fresh, but better than before. Ah, Sinister One is gone. This one can leave this awful place. Did Walking One vanquish the many-legged one? This one is grateful to Walking One. This one is called Frixio, eldest of these ones of Little Solace. Alpha Squad reporting, sir. Nothing of note at Lark's call, sir. Understood. Return to Area 12. Damn it all, where is that accursed icon hiding? No sign of our wizened friend? I'm afraid not, my lord. Shall I order that the search perimeter be expanded? Absolutely not. We risk alerting the Gridanians to our presence. His Excellency bid us to avoid unnecessary confrontation. Loath though I am to admit it, I have found no evidence to suggest that Ramuh will be gracing the mortal realm in the near future. I ask you, what good is a god who does not grant one's wishes? Were I a sylph, I should strongly consider finding myself another idol. Which reminds me, what are the sylphs we captured? A handful of them seem to be in reasonably good health when last I looked. Apologies, my lord. I fear we may have been overzealous in our efforts to compel them to summon their icon. Really, Centurion, were you not aware that vegetables bruise easily? It is well that I did not entrust you with the important task of making my dinner. Well, mayhap it was a kindness. Better dead in truth than dead to one's own god, I suppose, if you believe in such things. Dawn is upon us. Make ready to withdraw. Useless. We are so close to completion. I can fair taste it, but at this rate. No, I must be patient. Our efforts will bear fruit in due time. What was it you always said? Ah, yes. Though I mean bringing down the very heavens, who shall challenge the limits of possibility if not we? And that alone you were right, Garland. But your star is long fallen, while mine doth begin to rise. And it shall burn so bright that Lord Van Baelsar's ultimate weapon will seem a mere candle beside it. Ha 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 ha! Those walking ones did for Noxia. This one is certain of it. This one fears that other taken ones also suffered the same fate. This one is convinced. Walking ones have black hearts, seek only to harm these ones. Walking ones are not to be trusted. Now, Noraxia. Do not pass judgment too hastily. Not all walking ones are alike. Though there are evil ones among the walking ones, there are good ones also. Does Walking One feel unwell? This one would know. What brings Walking One to this place? Came looking for you specifically, actually. Came to this one's rescue at Noraxia's bidding? Then this one owes Walking One a debt of gratitude. Walking One has questions about Lord Ramuh? Then this one will provide answers. But first, let these ones quit this lightless place. This one will return to Little Solace. When Walking One is ready, please come and see this one. These ones may speak properly then. Then it is settled. Let this one accompany Walking One outside. I do like that the Sylph have very clearly vestigial legs. It's good design. It's a fun design. No! Please! There's got to be a way to tell free companies to just blanket not send me invites. Okay then, let's get back to Buscaron and report the wonderful news that Phrixio is safe and back in Little Solace. Chill, Overgrown Offering. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. And you know what? Hang on. Thaumaturge got a good chunk of experience from that dungeon. Let's pull the materia off of our Sugarloaf hats. And then we'll see about putting on the new gear. Let's see. Actually, if I were to take off all the materia, I might be able to get the most optimal gear. This is the one issue with materia that I have been running into, is upgrading your equipment while you have materia equipped. It makes me want to not use materia until I'm like endgame. But oh well, it's just a bit of management we have to do. I wish you could, like, tell the game, hey. Oh hey! The Spirit Bond on this one's finally done. But I wish you could tell the game that I want to equip the recommended gear based on not having materia equipped. Okay, well there's no new equipment anyway. Oh well. Fair enough. Buscaron, I am back. Ah, you're back. Tell me the Sylph Elder as well. Thank the gods for that. I don't really know what to make of the rest of your tale, but I'm full glad Phrixio didn't come to any harm. Ah, but there I go tempting fate. Run over to Little Solace and secure us peace with the Sylphs before aught else befalls us, eh? Rest assured, I'll send word to our friends of Charlayan and the Twin Adder both. You've done Gridania a great service this day, lass, and earned yourself a place of honor here at the Druthers in so doing. Be sure and come by whenever you feel like a drop of Kiki and Firewater. Alright, good to see that we have made a real difference in the area. We protected the Sylphs. What a relief. Next time on Final Fantasy XIV. Before we go and check in on the Sylphs at Little Solace, and before we talk to Buscaron about what he has before we head out, we're gonna head back to Ul'dah real quick, because it's time to work on goldsmithing. Make us some new jewelry to celebrate the occasion. I will see everyone next time for level 20 goldsmithing.